Three, two, one. Hello, Mary. Yeah, hello, hello. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank
Yeah,
you. And you?
I am doing well. And welcome to the Spices of Life on Kenya Diaspora Media. My name is Esther
Thank,
Nduta. And what's your name in full so that our guests can know who you are?
thank you for having me. My name is Shekoemi Mary Okora. Shekoemi meaning God loves me.
Wow, you're starting very well, Mary, tonight. From where we are, it's tonight because we are in the United Kingdom, so it's about 22 past 7ish, like so. But for some of our audience who are in the US, it's about lunchtime. And for those ones who are in Kenya, it's about evening, very 3 hours ahead. And for Nigeria, I think you follow the UK time, so it's about the same time. Now, Mary, I'm going to give you a chance. If you can be able to locate this link, you can share with our Nigerian friends because today we are visiting Nigeria, we are going to Kenya, we are going to the
Oh,
US, and we are going across the globe, even Dubai, where you are recently. So, if you can
okay.
be able to find us on Kenya Diaspora Media, when you go on
Okay.
YouTube, you can be able to share that link with your friends. And then for those who are joining us, you're very welcome. Karibuni sana. We will be speaking some bits of Swahili as well. And we just want to check that we are live. And we will be sharing this link with our friends wherever we can be able. And then we'll get back to you with the joys of motherhood. This lady I have here, she's ever beaming, beaming with joys. So there we are. So this morning, this evening, this afternoon, yeah, that's what you're gonna be doing in a moment. Spices of Life is coming through. Karibuni sana. Oh, I can see it's already shared. So thank you for sharing. Yeah, I didn't know it was already shared here. So thanks for sharing. And we will continue with those who are joining us. Yeah. Good, 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 good. Spicy coming up. Josie, karibu sana for joining us. And I'm going to go now on the Facebook side so that I can be, not Facebook, sorry, on the YouTube side so that I can be seeing anyone who is chatting with us. Mary, you can also watch from the YouTube side so that if people
Okay.
have any questions, you can be able to be responding from that side. And I hope
Okay.
I remember also that I'm in the studio, so when I forget to, yeah, I can see myself a little bit here as well. So Josie, karibu sana, and thank you so much for sharing. And we can also be able to share the same on Facebook. Karibuni sana, karibuni sana. Mary, you can also copy that link if you're able to and share on
Okay.
your Facebook because we want to make sure that everyone who knows Mary and Esther can be able to join in and we discuss the joys of motherhood. Karibu sana. One of them has given me, it wanted to give me, okay, I need to make sure I'm copying the correct one. This guy, yeah, I have to make sure I'm copying the, yeah, it was kind of sharing the last link that was on my, yeah. So share this link and I'm going to share that on Facebook Live. And the goodness with the way we do Kenya Diaspora Media is that we have it just spicy as it is.
Mm.
You take it as it comes. That's the way it is. Yeah. Okay. I have shared now on a few channels, and the next thing we are going to do, I know my husband would also be wanting to have a look at this, so I'm going to share a link with him, and then we will get started, Mary. So, how was your day
Okay.
today, Mary? Meanwhile, as we do all this nice sharing,
My
how
day
was your
was
day?
fantastic.
Okay, you'll be telling me about something you've been celebrating this week. Yeah,
Okay.
because I know there's something special that you've been celebrating while we wait for our guests to join us. Oh dear, I told you the link that was in the last is the one that is kind of sharing, so I need to be very careful. Delete for everyone on that side, and then I will share this one, share the link with our friends and family so that they can come and join us in these joys of motherhood. Karibuni sana as we continue to share these on our respective places. Karibuni sana. So I will share with a few people here, Mary, and then we will be getting on. Karibuni sana. There we go. And Yamumbi there. Karibu sana. Asanteni. There we go. So, Mary, how long have you been where you are, that is in the land of the United Kingdom? And tell us a little bit about yourself. Only the things you know you can share on Facebook, but if you have some other bits that you want to keep, it's okay. But you can be able to tell us as much as you feel free to tell us. Karibu. Karibu is welcome in Swahili.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Yeah.
I have been in the United Kingdom for over 15 years, if I'm not
Wow.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I came first as a student, and now I am well settled here.
Fabulous. And I know you
Yeah.
have a family. Would you just briefly
Yes.
tell us briefly about, because this is again will be about motherhood. So just briefly
Yes.
tell us whether your family has 12 children or how many children. Yes, so take us through that as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am married,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a mom to two beautiful boys. One, the eldest is 9 years old, and my second is 5 years old. So just the two, and they're more than enough.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, I was asking you about 12 and what. I know our families in the past used to have big, big, big families. Yeah, and that's why I
Mhm.
was thinking how many, how many. Now, for those who are listening to us, please do let us know whether we are loud and clear, and then we can be able to continue. Okay, Mary, I have a few questions today. One of the very
Okay.
first question, as a starter question, is why are you ever so, so happy? Why? Whenever I meet you, you're just laughing and happy and laughing. Any place. What makes you so, so happy generally?
Wow. That's a very interesting question. But
Mm-hmm.
what makes me happy?
Mm-hmm.
I think the first one is my faith. I am a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
And for my name, Shekoemi, like I said, the meaning, God
Mm-hmm.
loves me. I live by that name. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that, because God loves me,
Yeah.
I believe that there is nothing that is impossible for Him to do for me.
Brilliant.
And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is my family.
Mm-hmm.
I am very blessed,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I just love to have fun, to enjoy life. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you. Yeah. So Lydian N says we are very loud and clear. So that's very good to know, because sometimes I've come live and then there's no sound. But that's good when we have the audience and they can be able to tell us. Now, I'll be asking you very hard questions because this is Spices
Wow.
of Life, right? And Spices of Life covers quite a wide area. It covers the spiritual, the physical, the intellectual, I call it the currency or the commercial, then the emotional and the social aspects of life. And with this, I will try as much as possible to bring the joys of motherhood so that it's not a very, very like, oh, all these questions and how can I be answering them in a very joyful manner. So, one of the questions when I was inviting you in the previous program that I wanted to invite you in but before I go there, why couldn't you be able to make it on Wednesday? What was happening on Wednesday?
I was celebrating my birthday, my 30 joyful birthday.
Fabulous, sis, fabulous, sis. It's still
Yeah, it was.
celebration. May is your birthday month, so happy birthday, Mary. Continue with the celebrations. Even today, I had to get hold of you because you are still celebrating. And I am so
And it
happy.
continues.
Yeah,
I
and it
said,
is
and it continues
brilliant,
the
brilliant, brilliant.
celebration.
Now,
Yeah.
last week when I met you on Sunday, you had three, three young people who were so keen to come on your birthday celebration or birthday bash. Did you have them today, or how did it go?
Yes, I actually, I only decided. last night due to popular demand from my children and my children at large. Because even though I'm a mom to only two children, I have so many other children that I love and I look after. So they wanted me to, they wanted to hang around. So I said, okay, why not then? And because I have lots of cake, or I had lots of cake, it needed to be eaten. So last night I decided, why don't we all come together and just have fun? So today we had a little get together, not a party, but a get together where we just danced, we just had fun. The kids had a ball pit. It was more like a children's party, but that is me. And they did some gardening as well. They planted some seeds and took away with them. So it was an amazing time spent with children and their parents.
Now that brings me to the next question. Yeah. What do you do for a living?
Okay. I am a childcare professional, childcare provider, and I work with children aged between the 6 months and above. So I look after most of them until they go up to big school, we call it here, which is primary school. So they start from reception. And even after that, sometimes I'll pick them up from school and drop them off, or come to me or drop them off at school. So, yes, I look after children for a living and I have fun with them.
Fantastic. I do tell that because when I'm around you and around the children you take care of, I see that. I see exactly that. Yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much, Michael, and thank you so much, Samuel, for joining us. Yes, it's an interesting topic, and mothers are always the best. That's a comment from Michael, and then Samuel also thinks it's very interesting to talk about the joys of motherhood. Now, Mary, I'm going to start with the hard questions now, and hopefully I can also bring the joys of motherhood. One of the questions I normally ask is about the meaning of life, right? And I do ask, like, for example, I will combine this with the motherhood. At what age did you ever ask yourself the question about what is the meaning of life?
Hmm. Wow.
Or have
That
you ever
is
asked your question, that particular question?
um I think from when I became a mother, it, should I say, it made me into I mean, I've always looked forward to being a mom. But from when having my own children, it
Yeah.
made me more responsible, more careful, more more in tune with myself, because now I'm responsible for a life, because it's not easy to bring a life into this world. You know, you have to be almost not equipped, because we learn on the job of being mothers. So the meaning of life, it's very, it's a thing that you have to, live, and more intentional in everything you do. So with my own life, like I said, God loves me, and the Bible tells me that He has a plan for my life. So I live by all those words in the Bible, really, what my faith tells me that I need to be. I live it, I walk it. So, yeah, that's what I think, yeah, the meaning of my life is what God has said I'll be. I try to live, in that yeah, footsteps, following Christ and doing what He's asked me to do, with Him helping me, of course.
Thank you so
I don't
much,
know if
Mary.
I've answered.
It's that's your answer and I accept it. Okay. So
Okay.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm going to throw this question to the audience as well. I'm asking them, when did you start asking your question, what is the meaning of life? You know, sometimes we don't think about it, and sometimes some people spend so much time in thinking about that question. Now, Mary, I would like you mostly to be the host, or rather the talker for tonight, right? Or
Okay.
today, because in some places in the day and some places it's in the morning. I've had a guest before here from China, I mean, on the chat, and they told me it was the next day, right?
Mm.
So, for whatever time it is, one of the things I have seen you do is write a blog, a very, very beautiful blog. So, I would like you to take me through the first point of the joys of motherhood and then explain why you think that one brings you a joy. And then, if people want to contradict it, to argue about it, to support it, then they can be able to support it. I may be on the opposing side, you may be on the proposing side. Shall we do it as a debate? What do you think? Okay, some of them I propose, some of them I'll oppose, or some of them I'll just agree. Let's go. Point number one,
Okay.
what did you say brings you those joys of motherhood?
I love how my children call me mommy, even though, it can be mommy, 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 I say to them, if I was to charge £1 for every mommy I hear, I will be a millionaire by now. But I do love it when they call me mommy. It brings some kind of, some joy to me when they call me mommy. You want me to carry on or
Okay, I want, because I was telling you I could be opposing, yeah, some of them, I could be questioning some of them, okay? So,
okay,
one of the
okay,
things I'm going to ask you, as an African mother, as an African woman, and you're saying you like
yeah.
those mummy, 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 mummy. How was it when either you visited the village back home? I know you used to be a town girl, but I know there are times you went to grandma's place. What was the behavior of the mothers in the village if a child came saying mummy, 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 mummy all the time?
Um, I I can't really remember.
Mm-hmm,
It depends on maybe what the child wanted. If it
mm-hmm.
was, yeah, it depends on what the child wanted. If they were just crying for no reason, I'm going, mommy, mommy. The mom is like, stop crying. Why are you crying? It could almost be, like with anger or something. But yeah, I can't really remember. I
Okay,
can't
Mary,
remember
let me
because I
remind you. Just stop there. Let me remind you, Mary. Try to mummy me now. Try to mummy me
mommy,
now.
mommy.
Mary, if you call me another time, you will tell me what you're mumming me about. Okay? Yes? Won't you just stop? Yeah, because you keep mumming, 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 mumming me. What do you want from me? Don't you see I'm very busy, mammy, 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 all the time? Am I a song? If you can't remember, some of it used to come like that. Did your mother ever do that to you?
I call her mama.
Mama. Okay. So when you went mama, 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 did she ever tell you, Mary, now, what are you murmuring about all the time?
I don't quite remember, but because of
Mm-hmm,
how I am, I think I am quite independent, I would
mm-hmm,
say. And I believe I've always been that, even as a child. So sometimes some children are mommy, like with my two children, it's mostly my youngest that
mm-hmm.
calls mommy, 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 mommy. And I go, Jonathan, Jonathan, we make it into a joke almost. So it depends on how the child is because some children are more needy. So sometimes they just want to call mommy just for some reassurance or something or to find out where you. So yeah,
Don't you think
I
that's
don't remember
annoying,
that.
Mary? Don't, yeah?
Sometimes we make it into a joke of, because when I then say Jonathan, he's
Mm-hmm,
like, mommy,
yeah.
what do you want? And then they will say, and most of the time, as long as you attend to them, because the reason why a child will come mommy, mommy is for attention.
Mm-hmm.
So if we give that attention, definitely, or you explain why you cannot give the attention at that
Yeah.
time because they're human beings, even adults. We
Mm-hmm.
get needy as well. And so you can imagine. But ours is when we're needy, we probably start getting angry or something. So children, all they want is that attention. And if you give it to them, I think, they go away from you.
Okay. On the spices of life, S stands for the spiritual. Okay. And I'm just wondering, is
Yeah.
it the same way we call on God? God help me, God. God, God help me. And do you think it's okay to do that?
I believe so. Our God is almighty and He's always there. The Bible tells us when we need Him, He's almost there. So I believe He never gets tired of us calling Him. Because some
Okay.
of us can be really, really, really needy of Him. So you can imagine if God said, "You again, what are you doing here? Why
Yeah.
are you calling me again?" I believe it's the same thing, we go to Him when we need something most of the time.
Okay. Yeah, so that was one of the joys of motherhood, and it's a very good joy of motherhood. Yeah, I am slightly different. I think if I were mommy, 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 mommy all the time, I think I'll be like, now, just shut up now. And I don't think it would be nice, but I haven't done that. I have one child who is not a child now. She's almost okay. She's an adult, right? So at the moment, I wouldn't go like, shut up. No, I wouldn't. But I'm thinking maybe I'm not patient enough, right? And if I had children, that African mother that I just showed you a moment ago, right? Even when you're crying, it's like, I will show you or I'll give you a reason to cry, right? So Mary's joy number one is when she just hears her children call her mummy. And there is a verse in the Bible as well that says, blessed, is the woman, yeah, who has children. Yeah, or blessed is the person who has many arrows in their quiver, something like that. So don't ask me to quote directly, but I'm just going to welcome Joseph Mwangi. He's tuned in from Kenya, Juja. Karibu sana. So, Mary, what was the second joy?
Okay, before I go on to the second joy, this
Mm-hmm,
calling mommy is actually a milestone for,
mm-hmm,
when a baby
mm-hmm.
opens their mouth and go mommy. Most of the time they start with dada.
Yeah. Okay.
So sometimes, yeah, sometimes we have to because the d is probably easier to pronounce or to, sound. So moms usually wait for that moment where you hear ma 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 ma. It's almost like, yay! My child said ma ma. So yes, let's enjoy it.
Okay. I accept, but do you think they go to dada with the same needs or do they actually go to mama for like now? Do you have one of them, mama, 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 mama? Hi,
See
David, how
what?
are you?
Hello.
Yeah, so is David now also coming to us, mommy, 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 what are you doing? Yeah. Hello, David, how are you? How are you, David?
Good. Okay.
Yes. What would you like from mommy?
He just wanted a kiss.
There we go. That's the
Yeah.
attention. Yeah, that's the attention. Yeah.
Go on. See you later. Let mommy finish her call. Okay.
Okay, Mary, don't mind about David. Let's move on to the second point. Don't worry about David. He's had his bits of attention. Yeah. So the African mother would say, David, get back where you are now. David, go back and get busy. But you see, you're very gentle with the children, and I love that about you, Mary. So well done. Okay, well done. And don't mind him. Don't mind him. Tell us the second
Yes,
joy.
God.
What was the second joy?
So the second is I
Mm-hmm.
love the smile on their faces when I walk into the room.
Mm-hmm. What does that
So
tell you about them or about you? Mm.
that means their well-being. They're really happy. Their well-being is high, and that makes me happy. As long as they're happy, I
Mm-hmm.
am happy. So yes.
Brilliant. And the third one was?
I love the memories of their baby stage. Oh my goodness. And when I would look at them and they would copy my facial expressions or try to copy my actions, I take a lot of photos, I make a lot of videos of them, like of their milestones. I just love watching them, and that gives me a lot of joy.
Oh, Mary, I've forgotten my job. Just leave those joys a little bit there. Number two, I forgot to do my job of contradicting and opposing. So you say
Okay.
you like smiles on their faces. What about when they're wah, wah, all the time and yeah, combined with number one, mommy, I want this, and then they change their facial countenance. Do
Yeah.
you still have the joys when they do that?
We, if they're sad about something, we
Mm-hmm.
talk through it. I mean, we talk through what is making them sad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes I actually am laughing, and especially my youngest, you'll be like, "But mommy, you're laughing, like you're funny." So, but then when I see that he's not liking that bit, and I'll come down to, "What's the matter? Let's talk about it." And yeah, it's all about talking to them like human beings. They are human beings, and yeah, treating them like one, how you would like to be treated.
Okay. Mary, I don't remember again as a child going before my mom with all those smiles and I don't quite remember. You know, you said there's some things you don't remember. You don't remember the mommy, 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 mommy. I don't remember me and my mom smiling at each other. Maybe when I was a baby. Yeah, you know, but it's because again our mothers had babies every 2 years. So maybe by the time you think you would be smiling at your mom, she has another baby. Then by the time you're 4 years old, she's expecting another one. So no time really for smile. It's serious business of raising children. In fact, at the age of 6, you could be helping your mom to raise children. Yeah, she'll be strapping
Yes.
some of them on your back and you will be helping. Now, I'm going to raise this question to the audience as well. How was your childhood? Do you remember your mom, your smiling back at you? How was your mother, or how were the mothers in the villages where you were growing up? Do you think they were as kind as Mary here, or were they as the way the African Esther here is and saying, now stop, yeah, get out of here, I'll give you a reason to cry? What were your mothers, or how were the mothers like where you were growing up? So, Asanteni Sana. So, Mary, the third one you said you like taking a lot of photos, yeah, and you like capturing the moments and all that. Do you think every mother, okay, do you think most of the mothers enjoy those moments in the same way you do?
Of course not. For some, remembering maybe their children's baby stage, it's just for everyone, because being a mom is not easy at all. Being a parent, it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of giving yourself completely. So it's not easy. But when we talk about the joys here, it's regardless of all this sadness that comes with being a mom, regardless of all the challenges, regardless of all the failures, regardless of maybe all the abuses that, a mom went through when she was pregnant or when she had the baby. That's what we're talking about, because motherhood is no perfect motherhood. We're all learning on the job. But with my personality, with my, I think from, and me working with children, I'm not saying I've not had my bad moments. I've not had my, shouting moments,
Now
because you
you're
need to be
talking,
strict.
Mary. Now you're talking.
Need to
Okay.
be, you know what you want out of your children. You need to be disciplined with them. You need to instill those values. And when you're doing it, obviously you're not laughing but because I am a friend to my children as well as a mother, so it allows me, it gives me the opportunity to be able to correct them in love.
Okay.
So, yeah, correct them in love because I need them to be able to talk to me when they're feeling a certain way and we reason together.
Okay.
Like a typical example, maybe I'll come to that later. I just had an example a few days ago. My 5-year-old asking a girl out, to be his
Out.
girlfriend. And I'm like, ooh, I found that really funny, but we have to talk about it. But now my mind is going, right. We need to actually start talking about girls somehow. So I'll go into that after you've countered my point.
Okay. This point I wanted to ask you. In fact, I wanted to ask you, how do you deal with the hard questions, and what are some of the hard questions they ask? Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask before I could counter. Yeah, the taking of the photos, I won't counter it as such because of capturing the moments. I would love to do that, and I used to do that as well. In my days, Mary, if you'd really like to know, we didn't have these digital cameras,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
But the photoman, the cameraman would come to the village, and you would ask how far he is on that particular Saturday, because they would come in on Saturdays, because during the week, of course, they could be doing other jobs and people are out there working. So on Saturday, the cameraman would come, on one street. Rather, we didn't call them streets, plots. Yeah, we would call them where the estates. Yeah, and they would be taking photos with all those angles, some of them lying down. And then I do have quite a number of the old album type. I captured moments, and they were expensive to capture. And like nowadays, you're like, capture this and capture that. So I won't counter that. I would say it's one of the things that brought me joy as well, and I've kept memories as well in that capacity. But what are some of the hardest questions your boys have asked you, and how have you? Okay, one of them you've just said about the taking out of a girlfriend, but what other hard questions have they asked you?
Um, as they are exploring or getting older,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a mom to boys, so they have questions about, say, one of them asks, why is my penis getting bigger?
Oh, yeah, already. Okay. and
So
and how did you explain that one?
as you get older, your
Mm-hmm.
body parts will develop. So, and
Mm-hmm.
that means some of them will get bigger. Not some, all of them will get bigger. You'll have deep voice, your hands will be bigger, you have muscles and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it's because they're now recognizing all the changes in their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about things like, sex education,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't just begin when you start talking about sex. It starts from when they start their bodies start making changes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the sex education, and it can start from whatever age, even 1 2, as long as you're teaching them about being aware of themselves,
Excellent.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of another question. Well, he asked the other day, how did myself and that I think it was Jonathan that asked, how did myself and their dad meet? And I had to say to them, why don't you, since I don't know. I was trying to say, oh, the man technically goes to, ask for the girl, to go out with them. Why don't you ask daddy one day and then maybe have a conversation about it? So I sort of referred them to their dad. And then maybe once they finish talking, they can come back and then, we carry on with the conversation.
Maybe that's why he was asking a girl out. He had ideas. It's men who ask girls out. You never know. This chick, I know you're Jonathan. He's very intelligent. So I think that's why he thought, daddies normally ask for mummies out, so I'm going to ask for this girl out. There we go. So now, Mary, I'm gonna just bring them a little bit older. I know they're still younger, they're not in their teenage. We may not cover all the joys today, but I'm gonna just now bring this age. I know your older one is about 8. So let's add 4
Right.
years, 5, and they become 13. And I want you to think about yourself when you were 13. Were you a good girl? Were you a naughty girl? Were you an easy child to raise at 13? Or what do you think happened at 13? Or what happens at 13? And this question I'm going to also ask the audience the same. How were they at the age of 13? Did they become the angel that they had always been, this mommy, 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 mommy? Or did they become a little devil? Yeah. So, what were you like, and how was the relationship between you and your mom? So, Mary, were you a nice girl? What type of a 13-year-old were you like?
Wow, 13,
Mm-hmm.
13.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good girl. I think
Mm-hmm.
because I've always been a daddy's girl,
Yeah.
right? Um, yes, I love my mom,
Mm-hmm.
but I was closer to my dad in the sense that, we used to go to bookshops together. If my dad is going anywhere, it's me as the first child that will come with him. And we just used to interact more,
Mm-hmm.
with him. Even the sex education, it
Mm-hmm.
was through books. He was not talking to me directly,
Mm-hmm.
but he would buy me a book to read. Um, but with my mom, it's only as I now say having children, I think I cherish her so much more
Mm-hmm.
than when I was younger. But I think I've always been a good girl. Yes, I have to be a child. We have to be children. So yeah. But I remember I used to fight with my brother a lot, and then when he's beat me up, he will get into trouble, even if maybe I made him beat me. But yeah, from what I can remember, but I used to like learning how to cook as a little girl, like all these home things about being maybe because of the culture, you're being told that one day when you're older and you get married, you'll be doing this, you'll be doing that. So instinctively, I used to like learning how to do things in the house.
Mary, I want to pull you
Yeah.
out of that all good and perfect. I want to bring you to an African Kenyan girl, right? Now, you want to tell me you didn't kiss a boy. You want to tell me you didn't start falling in love. Okay, because you're around mommy and daddy. I want you to come out of that situation because Jonathan has started very early. Mommy, I want to take
Yes.
this girl out. Right? Tell me. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit of mine. Maybe it will help you to open up. Yeah? A little bit. Okay? At 13, I started hanging around fences. There were some boys in the neighborhood. Yeah, there was an older couple. Their grandchildren used to come and visit. And every Saturday, I saw their vehicle. Okay, they used to come from the city and they would drive with their parents. I would be at the fences, Mary, waiting. And I was longing for that day that the boys will come so close, yeah, and steal a kiss. Tell me about that
Oh,
part. Was that kind of experience ever, did it ever happen to you? And if it did, what would have your dad done or your mom done?
I think before all that boyfriend thing started, I was a bit older,
Mm-hmm.
probably 15, 16,
Mm-hmm.
because I was sent to a all girls secondary school. So there were no boys there to even be kissing.
I think some things were happening in girls' school. Were there any things
Oh,
happening in girls' school, in Nigerian girls' school? In Kenyan girls' school, you couldn't go there innocent and come out innocent. They will introduce you to things that you've never heard in the world.
wow, no, I don't, I never, because,
Mm-hmm.
okay, my dad was a politician or
Mm-hmm.
is a politician, so I had to always be good
Okay.
because people knew me everywhere, even the school I went to,
Mm-hmm.
it was right about 5 minutes away from our house. So
Okay.
any slightest thing, yeah,
And they
yeah,
still put you on
I don't,
boarding.
yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And even with that, thankfully, I used to get VIP treatment. I used to get whatever I want if I wanted anything. So, but I know that there were some students that used to go over the fence to go and meet, ways to hear about it. But I never did it. I never did it.
Good girl. Good girl. Mary, we did it. Okay, I was borderline. I used to start by the fence, but if I knew at home, at school, but if I knew the teachers were about, or if I knew there were some girls who would report us, then I would be very far. Yeah. But
Uh,
most of the time I was caught on the borderline because I wasn't sure whether to jump over the fence to go and discover what these other girls are discovering out there, or to stay for the reason that took me to school. You know, that question of the meaning of life. Okay, I didn't
yes.
ask myself about the meanings of life, but I was curious. I was always curious. What happens beyond the fence? Where do these girls go? What happens? Some of them would disappear and they would come with stories, or they went downtown and they were kidnapped, ABCD. And some teachers and some parents would buy those. I don't know whether it was the truth or not. I don't know, Mary, up to today. But at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, it's a hot
Wow.
temperature age, right? So, what are you doing to prepare yourself? I know you have these joys of motherhood. Now you have the control. But for
Mm.
the ages 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and I'm going to ask the audience as well. Yeah, at that age, do they have children at that age? How are those children behaving? What are they spending their time on? What are they doing? Are they chasing after girls? Are they spending so much time playing gaming? What are they doing at the moment? So, Mary, what have you done to prepare yourself? Now, this is a westernized culture. You have your
Mm.
boys, yeah. So, how are you going to help them through the ages of, yeah, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, a child up to 18 in the UK?
Mm. I believe,
Mm-hmm.
the most important years in a child's life to
Yeah.
instill, values that you
Mm-hmm.
want to last a lifetime
Yeah.
are from the age 0 to 5 years old. That
Okay.
age, that's where all their senses are developing.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever you want to instill, you have to spend time
Mm-hmm.
prayerfully instilling them. And even if you're sending them to childcare, you have to be careful
Mm-hmm.
what childcare provider you're sending them to, because wherever they go,
Mm-hmm.
whatever influence they have within that age gap, it will last them a lifetime. So mine,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking for myself, and I know
Mm-hmm.
it's different for every mom out there. Some have gone back to full-time work, and that's why I said whatever childcare you send them to, you must make sure it's a good one. Mine, I decided to work from home, or my family decided I should work from home, just so that, because I love children and I've always wanted to have my own business.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the easiest, not easiest. I had to work for it. I had to train for it, but I really wanted to do it. And in a sense, I wanted to stay and look after my children. Thankfully, I think I am proud of
Mm-hmm.
what I've been able to achieve with them
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of values. I
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't mean that they will live a perfect life.
Yeah.
I will still keep guiding them as
Yeah.
they grow older,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a very good relationship with my children
Mm-hmm.
in the
Okay.
sense that they
Mm-hmm.
can talk to me about anything. That window is open. We have an open door policy. They can cry if they want to cry. I say to them, it's okay to cry if you feel like crying. If you're sad about something, it's okay. Because there is this cultural thing back home. If a boy cries, why are you crying like a girl? Or why are you crying? No, it is okay to show emotions. Those their emotional sense has to develop. They need to be able to express themselves, not
Mm-hmm.
suppress their feelings. So all those things, I believe, I have been able to help them develop all of that. And it is just my hope and prayer that even as they get older, I will always be there. And they will always remember the values that have been instilled in them.
Good, and a very good answer. I think I want to be again that very trouble causing teenager. Okay?
Mm,
So if I came home at 13, if I was your daughter, okay, you don't have daughters, you have sons.
mm,
So let me go with the boys. If your boy at
mhm,
the age of 16, they said they wanted to go clubbing. I know you're a Christian. They want to
mm.
go, no, partying because they're not allowed to go to the clubs yet. Would you allow them to go to these party that they have at a friend's house? And you know these friends, they do smoke, they do drink, they do the girlfriend boyfriend things. Would you still allow them or would you stop them?
Do you mean at this age that they
16.
are now?
When they're at
Six.
16, they will tell you they want to go to this party, and at this party, you know that the boys from that family, they smoke, they
Mm,
drink, they have
mm.
sex. Would you still allow your boy to go, or how would you deal with that kind of situation?
I will not cocoon them forever.
Okay.
I would trust that wherever they are,
Mm-hmm.
that they do the right things and they know
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're doing, they really want to do it. I say to them, you don't do things because other people are doing them. You do things because you want to do them and you're happy with your decision. There are consequences to whatever we do in life. So if you're willing to bear that consequence, voila. So I don't personally, I won't stop them, but I will, you know, guide them or talk to them. We will have discussion about it, but I won't stop them.
Brilliant, Mary. Now, I'm just going to start summing up in a way because I don't want us to be going through all the topics that you have, but I want you to choose the best of the joys out of your list, and we can always talk
Mm.
about the others on a different day. But out of the ones you have, please pick the best that you think this is the one that makes my heart just go boom, 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 boom. It boils with joy when you just think about this one.
There is no particular one, but all
Really?
I'll say, I just love seeing them happy.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me
I
then
do.
let me take you through the spices of life now. You will tell me whether you like just seeing them happy all the time, all the time. Okay, let's see.
No,
Yeah, I told you.
it doesn't.
I I told you I'm gonna contradict you a little bit in some ways because you seem to be living in a different world. Yeah, I don't think all of happiness. I told you at the beginning, happiness, happiness, happiness. I think there is another side of life that is not always bringing this happiness, Mary. Okay.
Of course,
All
Esther.
right. Okay.
Like I said,
Yeah.
being joyful
Mm-hmm.
does not mean the
Mm-hmm.
absence of trials. You
All
will have
right.
them.
Now you come on. Talk a bit
You
about the
will
trials, Mary. Tell me a
You
little bit of
will
some of the trials you have because most of the parents would like to know how you deal with the trials.
trials.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my number one.
Mm-hmm.
I I love children,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't enjoy the process of being pregnant and giving birth.
Okay. But you enjoy the process of getting there. Okay, let me stop there. That's a topic for the night.
Getting there and then after.
The getting them out, that's where the process you don't like. And then 9 months. Okay,
Exactly.
I get you.
Yes,
All right.
because I
Mm-hmm.
had a third degree tear,
Mm-hmm.
and that was, it wasn't a good experience at
Okay.
all.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember that, that
Mm-hmm.
can almost, bring you down. So that is one of the trials because, yeah, it can bring a sad memory,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, which other trials? Say maybe you're expecting or you want your child to reach a certain milestone. Like my eldest, he started talking okay. Everything was spot on, walking. And then when he got to age, was it 2 years old, all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden stopped talking, you know? So it was a concern. So there are some milestones or some when your child has maybe developmental delays, it can be a challenging time for you. So it can be a trial, but you can joyfully go through it, knowing that you will overcome that challenge,
Okay, I
right?
understand now. Yeah, I understand. Because, I get confused. This woman is ever happy, is ever joyful, is ever this. And I'm thinking, Mary, do you live in a utopia, in another world? That me as a mother, you've mentioned now, like the developmental stages. For me, it was the sickness. And when I was raising my own child, we were in Kenya. Malaria was, yeah, there was a lot of malaria. And one day she fainted in my arms, and I had to drop her because I thought she was dead. It's the first time she convulsed, and I'm thinking, I don't want to be raising a very delicate thing like this. What do I do with a life in my hands? Can I be able to
Mm,
handle this? So I find it to be very, very delicate, and to me that is scary in itself. But
yes.
again, the other emotions are the fears of the teenage. Mine
Mm,
is a good girl, but of course she went through the same. These questions I'm asking you are some of the things we did together. She came and told me one day they want to go clubbing. Do you know, I didn't
mm,
even remember she was about 16. And they did go somewhere, right? And
mm,
she came and gave me some feedback in the same way you're saying. I said to her, be careful, there will be men there. Be careful, there will be drink there. Be careful. But here is some money to spend so that you don't depend on anybody's money. And I let them go. And how they went into the club and they were allowed into a club, I can never tell you. One of these days I'll ask her how they did it. But thankfully she
yeah.
hated it. She didn't like it. She didn't like the taste of alcohol. She didn't like the atmosphere in the club. She didn't like it. So she came and told
Mm,
me about it. But it's not always that children will come and tell you these things. When I was a teenager, I kept all the secrets. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't. Yeah. But I was going through difficult times and I was going through challenging times. I didn't tell anyone. And most of our kids are not telling people nowadays. Okay.
mm,
So
mm.
I was thinking you could have picked another joy out of the list. Pick number 9 for me. Tell me what's your number 9 on your list. And then let's discuss that. And it will be our closing joys of motherhood, unless there is some very burning issues. And then I will just go through the spices of life points very quickly. And then we will be done for the day. I know you
Okay.
need to catch up with the sleep. With all the partying in the week, you do need to catch up with your sleep somehow. Yeah.
Okay, my number nine is I love it when I look at the memories of their growth and development.
So is that
So
not similar to number 3 or number 4?
number number three,
Yeah.
number three was when I look at the memories of,
Okay.
say, the pictures and
Okay.
yeah, it's similar, but
Yeah.
this one is more of their milestones,
Okay. So they
reaching their
moved on. Okay.
boundaries.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Now, let me take you through the spices of life and we'll finish 5 points and you will be okay.
Okay.
What would you do? This is now on the spiritual aspect. I know you are a Christian family. What would you
Mm.
do if someone joked about your child when they said
Mm.
they're a Christian? How would you deal with that situation? A matter of faith. How would you deal with somebody you heard them laugh at your son because they say they read the Bible and they're a Christian?
Mm. Right. Um,
Would you
I
go
think
just slap them, or would you
no,
confront them and say, behave yourself? Yeah, you can't do this to my child.
it's not in my place to discipline not discipline to
Mm-hmm,
correct the other child. Now,
mm-hmm,
it's my duty to
mm-hmm,
help my children, understand that they will, as Christians,
mm-hmm,
as black boys,
mm-hmm,
they will have all these things, they might or they will have all these things being said to them. So it's up to them how they react to it. It doesn't matter what anyone says about them.
mm-hmm.
What matters is what they think of themselves and what they feel about themselves.
Okay.
So I've written a few flashcards, to help them and to
Mm-hmm.
help other children around, to let them know that, look, everybody is different,
Mm-hmm.
but it is okay to be different. We will all have different ideas, we'll all
Mm-hmm.
have different experiences.
Mm-hmm.
They will never be the same. And we can sit there arguing about it, about mine is better than yours, it doesn't matter. What matters is what you think of yourself, how you see yourself, to be able to defend yourself.
Okay,
You
I'm
have
thinking, as you're talking, Mary, the African, I'm a Christian. By the way, people should know I'm a Christian in reality, and I am, okay? And a
yes,
good Christian, I trust. God knows
yes.
I try, okay? But I'm thinking this African woman is rising, yeah? And I'm
Mm.
feeling like I could go and stand akimbo, and like, who do you think you're joking with? My child? You mean you can be calling them? Do you think that would be an unchristian way of approaching a situation?
Definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
We have to be
But
gentle.
who
We
will
have to
stand against the bullies? Who will bring justice?
The bullies will always be bullies. You don't have to be a bully like them. You can
Okay.
correct them in love.
Okay. So you start with who you have in your house, your children. But I'm thinking, will we teach them to accept that abuse or things like bullying is okay? I don't know. I think that's a dilemma
No,
thing. Yeah, because when you tell
no,
them, you will. Yeah.
I don't think they have to accept what the person is saying.
Yeah.
You can simply say, yes, I'm a Christian and I believe in God. That's it. You don't need to fight them to prove a point.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask another tough question.
Okay.
Physically, Nigerian, I don't know whether it's the whole community, all the communities, or it's your particular community, you take the boys through circumcision.
Mm.
How old do you take them to this process?
Oh dear. I
How old
think
are
it
they
was
when you took them? Yeah.
within the first 3 months, if I can remember correctly.
Okay, the first 3 months. Now, in my African culture, the Kikuyu culture, they go when they're teenagers, and then that's when they're taught now how to transition from being a
Mm.
boy to being a man. Do you normally do the same with your boys or your children when they reach that age where they're transitioning now? Already they were asking you, why is my thing growing bigger? So,
Mm. Why penis? You must
yeah.
always use the right word.
Oh, Esther. Oh,
Not
dear. What
thing.
did you call it? Okay. I call it
You
the
need to
ding
know
dong. So why is
the
the
right
ding dong growing bigger? Okay. Allow me to use that language. Okay. You're a
word.
teacher.
Okay.
You teach the young ones, so you must call it the right name. I can maybe call it a different name. Okay. When do you teach, or for you and your brothers and your sisters, at what age were you taught how to transition from being a child to now a younger adult?
The thing is,
Mm-hmm.
children, as they're growing and they start toilet training,
Mm-hmm.
start touching themselves, even when you're changing their nappies, you can see them feel, almost like feeling themselves because they can feel things on them. Now, as they get older, when they start talking, they can then ask, what is that? It doesn't matter at what age. Sometimes they prompt these questions. Sometimes it may come direct,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it may come indirectly. Now it's your job how you want to, you have to think of how you want to break it down. You don't have to go all raw, you have to do it age appropriately.
Okay, I accept
So
that.
they become really curious. And when they ask the questions, as a
Mm-hmm.
parent,
Mm-hmm.
must be prepared. I know some questions hit us bank. We have to, the way we react will make them come back to us or run away from us
Okay.
next time. So, yeah.
On the intellect now, you've answered on the spiritual, you answered on the physical. On the intellect, how far do you want your children to go when it comes to education?
Entirely up to them.
Oh, so you give them a choice. If they say they want to stop at GCSEs, fine. Yeah. What about, would you push them to go into work?
My
That brings
job
us to
is
the
to
commercial.
guide
Yeah,
them.
sorry. Mm-hmm.
My job is to guide them.
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can see their parents. We've gone off to, they've seen photos. We've talked to them about, how we went to do degree and masters. So they may decide to do the same, but God
Mm-hmm.
has a plan for everyone, including our children. And we believe and we pray for our children that God will guide them to wherever He wants to take them. Now, if my child comes and goes, they want to be plumber. Plumbers make money. Just go and train to have the biggest qualification and make money. Whatever that will fit them, you can be a professional plumber. You can be employing plumbers. You can be anything you want to be. You don't have to be a doctor. We can have a lot of doctors, lawyers, different professions. But now, with the
Mm-hmm.
age that we're in, and we're going to, you know, keep, what's the word now? The age, we're going to keep opening up the internet age, so they'll be going to school might not even be important anymore. I mean, like going to universities, yeah, to go and get some certain qualifications. They
Mm-hmm.
might not be. We have things like apprenticeships, sometimes trainings straight after GCSE. They just go on and do some, just 1 year or 2 years, and voila, they're qualified. So you have to, your job is to guide them, talk to them, but let them decide, let them choose, and you
Well,
just pray that you choose correctly.
well done, Mary. I can see you have a very good way of thinking in an open box rather than a closed box. So you're not like the old school where our parents believed we can be doctors, nurses, and those okay, doctors, teachers, nurses, those professional, the jobs we thought were professional. Yeah. Anyway, one of the questions, it could be sad, this one. I know you are on the higher scale of the joys, okay? But I want to ask you, what is the most heartbreaking thing that has ever happened because of your children?
Hmm. That's happened to me.
Yes, and you felt this makes me sad. This makes me want to cry because we want to give that allowance because out of joy sometimes we also cry. And there's
Mm,
nothing
mm,
wrong in crying out of joy. And there's also
mm,
nothing wrong, you told me, you allow your boys to cry because in the traditional way boys are told you're a strong man, you shouldn't be crying, but you allow them to cry. So what has
mm.
made you maybe heartbroken or cry or sad when it comes to your boys?
Is maybe when someone that
Mm-hmm.
maybe is very important to them does
Mm-hmm.
not believe in them at that point,
Mm-hmm.
or because of something, because of a delay or because of what they're not doing.
Okay.
And yeah, and maybe they actually voice it out or something, or act it out,
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I think that's probably one thing I challenge it.
I know
It
you.
makes me sad, but I challenge it. I really, I fight for my children.
I know you, Mary. I know. I know you would. I mean, if there was possibility of creating an army, one goes on the left, the right, the front, the back, you would do. And they have an army of angels surrounding them anyway. The last question I have, Mary, what is one ingredient that you want to have in keeping your relationship with your boys strong? Yeah, growing and growing. What is one of the ingredients you think either works or you want to maintain or you want to propagate that will keep the relationship good? Because at the moment I know you and your boys. It's very good, right? So
Thank
what is that
you.
ingredient? What's that spice that you normally use?
Love.
Love, love, love,
Love,
love, love. Okay.
love them, love them.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said love, I mean, I could go, oh, God is still God. God is love.
Mm-hmm.
Family is love.
Mm-hmm.
Love them with your whole heart.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I love my boys. I do.
Thank you,
And
Mary.
all the other children around me, I do.
Thank you. You've made me behave like a child many times, even when I'm on my own here and I want to be a child again. Now I'll be the mother and I'm the child, so I'm loving on me. Like when I want to eat A healthy diet, I tell myself, Esther, if you are 5 years old, what would I feed you with? Right? If you
Mm.
were a 5 year old, where would you like to go? So that's why sometimes you would find me on the swings. I saw you on the swings the other day. You'd find me rolling on the ground. You would find me playing because I want to go to that happy place of being a child. And anyway, we are children of God. Otherwise, Mary, what would be your last remark for tonight as we say bye bye to the audience that have been listening to us? And just a moment before you can prepare for your final remark for today, and then we'll be calling it a day. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. What is one parting word you would tell our audience?
Um, audience, I'll say thank you for having me. It's been great. I enjoy being a mom, and I hope
Mm-hmm.
that as many moms as are watching this,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have to be just being a mom because biologically, you can be a mom to any child. You can be a mom to many children that are not even yours. L- let's it's important to do it with joy, with love, with one thing that children need the most is love and attention. And attention doesn't mean spending all your time with them. If you're giving them 5 minutes, let that 5 minutes be about them, just hearing them out, just watching them, just cuddling them, just, I think it gives children that sense of security. And as they get older, it has a positive impact in when they're older, because most of us now that seem so needy of attention is probably because we did not get it when we were younger. So we have to try and break and it wasn't our parents' fault. They didn't know any better, but we know better now. We have the internet to help us. Yes, it can be positive, it can be negative, but we must give time, attention to our children. And I just pray that God will continue to help us, because it is not easy being a mom. It is not easy being a parent, but we can do it.
Thank you so much, Mary, for joining us. And thank you for that last statement. It's never easy, but it can be easier if we engage ourselves in that and pay more attention and just be purposeful or intentional in the way we raise our children. There are many joys that we'll be discussing as time progresses, and people will be watching this video clip, and I believe they will be also asking questions and commenting. And we've had very good comments here as well. So Josie Teki was tuned in, and thank you so much for sharing the link. And also Triple Light Media was also had joined us. Michael had joined us. Samuel had joined us, and Joseph as well had joined us. Okay, Samuel had thought we are very serious moms. That's what he was thinking. But we are very happy to be able to talk about this, because like now I am experiencing some of those joys, and I tell you, I do buy some ideas from you for free. I mean, I don't pay anything. I don't have to go to coaching classes. I just have to watch and remember I'm a child of God, and I behave like that child, carefree, but also knowing that I have a caring father, and I also have friends who are also very caring in that aspect, and they can teach me to capture those moments before again I'm too dependent. If when I'm older, I can be able to capture the moments of being an adult and a child sometimes. So thank you so much, Mary, for joining me. And thank you so much for being part of KDM. For those who have not subscribed, please do subscribe and follow us on Facebook, and we will be joining with you another day. This is Kenya Diaspora Media. My name is Esther, and my guest was Mary Shekoyemi, child of God. Is it the child of God, Shekoyemi? Yes.
God loves me.
God loves me. Yes, God loves you. No wonder you are flowing and flowing with love, because God loves you. You are full of love, and that love also flows out in terms of joy. We love you, Mary. I love you.
Thank
May God bless
you.
you, and may God also bless the KDM family. Bye bye for now. Until next time. Bye from us. Bye bye. Okay, bye bye. I'm gonna stop the stream. Thank you.